People always say, trust your wife, don't overthink. But what if the one person you trust most is living a life you know nothing about? My name is Daniel, and this is the story of how I uncovered my wife's betrayal. Not because I went looking for it, but because the truth kicked down my door. My wife, Jenna, used to be the warmest, happiest person I knew. We've been together 8 years. Never fought seriously, never slept angry, never hid anything from each other. Or so I thought. About 6 months ago, I noticed something strange. She kept leaving the room to answer calls. She'd smile at her phone and tell me, "Oh, it's just my sister." But she never talked to her sister that much before. Then she started going to yoga classes twice a week. But every time I asked if I could join, she'd say, "It's a women-only group. You wouldn't like it." Fair enough. But she always came home freshly showered and with her makeup perfectly redone. Who showers after yoga just to put makeup on again? The signs were small, too small to confront. But they were there, and they were growing. The first big crack happened on her birthday. She told me she was going out with her coworker, a girl named Melissa, just for a few drinks. But Melissa posted an Instagram story that night. A mirror selfie, alone at home. Jenna wasn't with her. I called. No answer. Texted. No reply. At midnight, she finally walked in, laughing, smelling like expensive cologne I didn't recognize. I asked, how was Melissa? She froze for a split second, barely noticeable, but I saw it. Then she said, "Great." We had fun, and kissed me, and went upstairs. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Something wasn't right. Something was breaking. 2 weeks later, we were watching TV. Her phone buzzed. She grabbed it immediately and held it to her chest. "Work?" she whispered, and rushed to the bathroom. When she came back, she left her phone on the couch for the first time. Screen unlocked. I didn't plan to snoop until a message popped up at the top. "Tell him you're working late again. I can't wait to see you tonight." My heart stopped. The sender's name? Saved as dentist. But the preview showed a man's chest, shirt unbuttoned. I opened her photo gallery. There was a hidden album, locked by Face ID. I knew I couldn't open it, not without her. But I took screenshots of the messages, for myself, for evidence. She came back and grabbed her phone before I said anything. She didn't even notice I'd seen the notification. I needed answers. I needed proof. But I also needed to see who this man was. So I told Jenna I had to leave town for a business trip. She didn't even pretend to be sad. Just said, "Okay," and kissed me on the cheek without looking. I rented another car, parked 2 streets away, and washed our house. At 9 p.m., a black SUV pulled up. A man stepped out, tall, in a suit. Jenna opened the door before he even knocked. They hugged like they'd done it 100 times. Then she pulled him inside. I sat in the car, shaking, not crying, just numb. After an hour, lights turned off upstairs. I didn't go in. I didn't want to see that. I didn't want those images in my head forever. Instead, I drove to a hotel, sat on the bed, and stared at the wall until sunrise. The next morning I went home after she left for work. I searched the bedroom for anything, receipts, letters, anything. And then I found it. Inside a shoebox in her closet was a small velvet pouch. Inside, a hotel room keycard to the same hotel where she said she was doing yoga classes. On the back someone had written, "Room 214, Fridays." My whole body went cold. Fridays. The nights she always came home exhausted. I knew what I had to do. Friday came fast. I drove to the hotel and waited in the hallway outside room 214. I felt like I couldn't breathe. At 7:45 p.m., I heard footsteps. Jenna, holding flowers, wearing a dress she hadn't worn for me in years. She knocked on the door. A man opened it, the same one from the SUV. She kissed him immediately, long, slow, loving. I stepped forward. They turned. Her face drained of all color. "Daniel, what are you doing here?" I said nothing. I just stared. The man stepped in front of her like he was protecting her. That's when everything snapped. I walked away, not shouting, not crying, just gone. I heard her footsteps behind me. "Daniel, wait. Please." I didn't. The next morning, she came home. I was packing a bag. She fell to her knees. "It's not what you think," she cried. I laughed, because what excuse could explain what I saw? And then she said something that nearly broke me. "He told me you were cheating on me." "What?" I whispered. She nodded, sobbing. "He said he had proof. He said he saw you with another woman." I was stupid. I believed him. I froze. Why would he say that? Her voice cracked. Because he wanted me. He told me he'd take care of me when you left. He said you were already leaving me. My hands trembled. She'd been manipulated, used, but she still chose to cheat. Still chose him. Still chose lies over me. She begged me not to leave. Begged me to forgive her. Promised therapy, honesty, anything. But trust, once broken, isn't paper. It's glass. And ours was already dust. I left that day, not because I stopped loving her, but because the version of her I loved didn't exist anymore. It's been 4 months. We're separated now, and every night I sit alone and think how easily a marriage can fall apart when two people stop talking and start assuming. She assumed I didn't love her. I assumed she was cheating. Both assumptions led us straight to hell. So if you're watching this, hear me clearly. Talk to the person you love before someone else does. Because the truth, it's always better than the story you tell yourself.